Welcome to Oddball. Charlotte Wilder is not with us for the start of the show, but don't worry. She's going to be back. She's just handling some business somewhere else. But here to help me get through the A block is the one and only Israel Gutierrez. What's up, Izzy?
How's it go? You only work with people with geographic names.
Yes.
Charlotte Wilder, Israel Gutierrez.
Exactly.
Who's next? Sarah Spain?
Oh, well done. I was going to say Indiana Jones. That was the first place I went. But Sarah Spain works as well. Izzy, before I can clock out for the week, we have some odds and ends to sort through. If you will indulge me, these are stories we didn't get to early in the week. We had a lot of to comb through. We start with something that the algorithm tells me I have to do. I don't necessarily choose to do this. So this is where we're all in the search engine optimization era, and the algorithm is incensed that we haven't discussed Victor Wembanyama yet this week. So here's the first look at Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama together. Yeah, take a look at that. Look how happy they are. Oh, yeah. Chris Paul.
He's not even nipple high.
Dude. Navel high. Chris Paul, Izzy, has a track record of like the first year he's with almost every team he's played for is the best year. What kind of impact realistically do you see him having with the San Antonio Spurs?
I was actually just reminded, too, when I was going through some media day stuff, that Harrison Barnes is over there as well.
Yes, that's right.
And when you talk about sort of fundamental, play the right way, not spectacularly, but play the right way, that's Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, that's Chris Paul, a little bit less spectacular than he used to be. But when I think of what Wemby needs, it's just that. It's just keep it simple, stupid. Like, not that they're stupid, but you know what I mean? Like last year during the season, it looked like his teammates were working against him sometimes when it seemed so easy that you can get him the ball in high percentage areas.
This is how I could describe it. Have you ever seen either the movie or the Broadway play, The Producers?
Yes.
That's what San Antonio felt like last year. It's like, we've got this guy who's an incredible star. How can we mess this up as much as possible? And that includes like letting Jeremy Sohan live his best Magic Johnson fantasies, having Keldon Johnson just go out there and go crazy. And there were many a game in San Antonio where I asked, do they know who they're playing with? Like,
they know who their coach is.
Well, the coach he's letting them do it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like any basketball player, you step on a court and you may not know, playing pickup, you don't know who these people are. You're like, hey, my name's so-and-so. All right, let's go. And you start playing, and pretty soon you're like, oh, he's really good. Maybe I should get him the ball. Like that's just
the times that I've played with somebody who can dunk easily. I am looking for alley-oops as often as possible just to say I threw one. Like, I just want to get the ball to the big guy.
Dude, I remember when I was in grad school, I played pickup ball at ASU's rec center, and I was guarding this guy. A bunch of guys showed up together, and I was guarding this dude, and I was like, this guy's really, like, there are things that he's doing that I'm like, that's not like a normal pickup player. This is a little too polished. And then I realized, like, maybe like 7 points into the game, I was guarding Christian Polk, and my teammate was guarding James Harden.
Really?
Yes, freshman James Harden.
Wow.
And like I realized
like
this,
no beard, like small beard,
small
thin beard, right?
like
You can still see his teeth.
Yeah, so I'll never forget this to the day I die. I remember he had scored a couple of times, and I yelled at my teammate, force him right, he's left-handed. And he did the quintessential James Harden, like one dribble with his right hand, brought it back to his left, hit the shot, and they looked at me and said, I'm both-handed. It was literally one dribble with his right hand. But I'll never forget that. But it was one of those things where it's like, if I was on the other team and I didn't know, as I didn't know as an opponent, like 2 possessions in, oh, that guy's really good. Just get him the ball. The Spurs didn't get that memo. Chris Paul does 2 things. Number one is he delivers that memo to everybody.
Right.
Loud
and clear.
Yeah, loud and clear, no uncertain terms, and there are consequences when you don't get a Chris Paul memo, right? But number 2, he has a track record. Every team he's been with, the person who benefits the most is always a big. Tyson Chandler with the Hornets, DeAndre Jordan with the Clippers, Clint Capella with the Rockets, DeAndre Ayton with the Suns.
Capella made an all-star game with Chris Paul?
I don't think he did, but he was definitely high level, like the best you can be without being an all-star, right? And so Victor Wembanyama, as an incredibly talented player in and of himself, Now you get someone who not only is going to make it a priority to get him the ball, but is going to do it at a level where he's like, I've never played basketball this easily in my life. That's the pros. The cons are he's an irritating prick after 1 year, right? Everyone's sick of it. But I think Wembanyama might be the exception, the one guy who's actually going like, no, give me more, teach me. He's got that attitude. So
I just hope it doesn't take out, or Chris doesn't take out the Kevin Durant from him. Like I just want to take a step back three every once in a while because got to see that. Like otherwise he's just a big.
I think Chris has to know that. He's like he sees what we see. Like Jesus, right. This guy's so talented. You got to let him do that. All right. Speaking of Wembanyama, Chris Paul, they recreated the famous Muggsy Bogues Manute Bol photo, which is the most overdone thing in basketball. Hey, we got a tall guy and a short guy. Guys, I got an idea. Get together right in the frame. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Not only did they do that, but apparently so did Zach Edey and Yuki Kawamura for the Memphis Grizzlies. There we go. All three of them right there. I
don't know if it works for the Memphis pair. Like,
he's not big enough.
The guard's 5'8".
Yeah.
And Zach Edey's what, 7'2"?
7'2", 7'3". Yeah. But like it's not stark enough, right? Yeah. Not stark enough. And also you could tell like they're really struggling to keep those balls balanced as opposed to the guys on the ends. They're like they've got it down. They got it down pat.
There's something about Wemby too. Like if you say it out loud, okay, 7'4", 7'2", it's only 2 inches. There's something about the arm length, the legs. Maybe it's the thinness that just makes him look even longer.
Well, it's just like Manute, right?
Right.
Zach Edey's wide, so that's why it's taken away. Enough of this stupid ass pick. It's like the Wilt Chamberlain picture. Enough. We got to get rid of this thing. We get it.
Please, can somebody come up with a better way to celebrate a big number than jotting it down on a stupid piece of paper and holding it up in front of you? Like Wilt has done a disservice to all of us that we're still continuing that ridiculous.
It's not his fault. It's Harvey, whatever his name is.
Where were they?
Guy.
They were in Hershey, Pennsylvania. They didn't have any.
They weren't even at home. Yeah. All right, but regardless, I don't care how high the teammates are on Edey because we're getting a lot of reports coming out of Memphis. Like, oh my God, he's so incredible. Oh my God, he's shooting threes. They said he's going to start, right?
That's crazy.
He's going to start. Well, I mean, like, first of all, yeah, who cares? It's basketball. You can start today and then not start the next game and then start the next game. But I am, I'm being told that I can't be too mad because I've also recreated this picture.
What?
Oh yeah, look, that's me with K2SO from Star Wars. And there's 3 basketballs. I forgot all about that.
Wow, that's great skill by you.
But I do want to talk about this. Like, I'm staunchly in belief that Zach Edey is not going to work. I don't think his build, his athleticism, and his game fit with the NBA game right now, particularly a team like Memphis that wants to play up and down the court. Memphis seems to think otherwise. Am I wrong?
I don't see it. And I even looked back at the stats from him in college. He didn't take any threes in college.
No.
Like 0. And so I know you can evolve as a player, but you're ready right away to start and compliment Ja Morant. Like, I don't know if unless you are setting screens where Ja's like, I'm free. Like, I've never had screens this amazing before in my life. I don't really see he can't move that well. He can't get back on defense that well.
Up and down the floor, laterally. Oh, there's so many question marks. That's even if he shoots the 3 well, right? Even if he's a good 3-point shooter.
Like, he's not Karl Anthony Towns.
No.
He's not that size, that mobile, can take you, one bounce off the dribble if you close out. Like, he can't do any of those.
He's not Porzingis. He's not Towns. He's not Embiid. He's not Jokic. And again, I'm not talking about all the other things that make those guys special. I'm just talking about A, ability to shoot, and B, ability to move up and down the floor and left and right. He's well behind all those guys.
Right.
I don't see it working, but we'll see. They're high on it, so I guess we can just take their word for it. Moving on to, you mentioned Karl Anthony Towns. The trade is now official. He is gone to the Knicks, and Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick via the Pistons have gone to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Dominicano.
Yes. Now the players can speak openly about the move. Julius Randle gave his first press conference for the T-Wolves and was asked this by reporters.
Is it easier to stomach these types of things when you do just go from one championship contender to another?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife was actually saying that it could be a lot worse, for sure. I'm not going to throw any shots out here, but yeah, it could be worse.
Woo. Oh, man. I don't know if this is a great place for him, but I think Cleveland might have been.
Because they have too many bigs?
Because, it's a different type of vibe. I don't think it would work very well. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like Portland probably would make him very unhappy.
Yeah, raining all the time, not a good team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
just right across.
Well, I think
the
he would have
bridge.
been. I think he would have been happy because I don't have to move. I don't have to take the kid out of school.
I don't know. I think I saw his wife complaining on Twitter or on social about New York City.
Really?
Unless I was fooled and it wasn't his wife.
No, you never know
Somebody's
nowadays.
saying it's hard to raise 2 kids in a condo in New York.
Well, okay. Well, she's going to get a lot more than a condo in Minnesota. When I was asked this question, how could it have been worse? There were 2 teams barging through the door, like elbowing each other, trying to get in. One was Washington, and the other one was Detroit. Washington, fun city, but it can't be fun playing with Jordan Poole, man.
That one is 100%.
Like you'd hate yourself. You'd hate going to work.
Yeah,
right?
if Draymond would punch him, like Randle would do something.
Yes. And then Detroit, I was just like, what's the combination of awful team and awful city? And I get it. Look, before Jamel Hill, Vinny Goodwill, Jalen Rose, Kelvin Washington, and every other Detroit person in the world who I know gets on my ass. Dog, man, you got Detroit in the wintertime is one of those.
Listen, I covered the league for a long time, went to Detroit a bunch of times, spent playoff series in Detroit. And like when I say Detroit, I don't mean Detroit because we're always staying somewhere
Auburn
else.
Hills, yeah. Yep.
And the only thing I can seriously say memorable about Detroit is I learned how to play craps in Detroit. Dan Lebitard taught me how to play craps in Detroit, and it was a lot of fun. But I will say,
casino or a street corner?
In a casino. But I will say with the Julius Randle thing in Detroit, no, man, he would just take as many shots as he wanted. He would just go off, bull in a china shop style, just take over, and Asar Thompson will just be sitting there like, what?
I tell all my Detroit friends the best part of Detroit is the airport because it is truly a beautiful airport.
It is.
And also, I'm leaving. That's what it means. I'm not there. All right, really quick. Tony Snell. Last season, we did a whole story about Tony Snell, who needs 1 more year of service to have the premium healthcare plans available to him as a fully fully vested player with 10 years of service. He's got a child who has health issues, serious health issues, so that would really be a big deal. I bring this up now because he is joining the Sioux Falls Skyforce, is he the Miami Heat's G League affiliate, and I think that means something because it's a team that is notorious for calling up G League guys earnestly and giving them a shot. And he is somewhat of a reclamation project, and he is someone who brings a lateral perimeter defense and a pretty good 3-point shooter. So
they do that earnestly, but they also they don't mind finding the good stories, and they don't mind finding the people that can be helped in a certain way. And you mentioned him and his son, I think it was autism spectrum disorder. And he's just trying to make sure that he gets those 10 years in to take care of his family. And it's admirable, the fact that he is even, in the G League and playing in those games and everything else just to keep that. And I do think, I remember him. I don't know if he was a random scrub Heat killer, but I think he's had 1 or 2 decent games against the Heat in the past.
Oh, he
and I
has,
think them doing that for him is absolutely cool. And I just like the idea of him. Like a lot of people talk about or think about being a professional athlete and obviously everything that comes with it, the glory, the fame, and all the riches and everything else. This is hugely important. Like you can take a 10-year span and secure something as simple as health insurance. Somebody who just had to change health insurance for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like that's, especially when you've got a condition that your son, you want to take care of him. Like it's huge. And I think anybody that can use professional sports, NBA, whichever one you want to do something like that, even if you are a guy that some people say is only out there for cardio at times, Tony Snell in the past, like that more power to him, man.
All right, really quick. We've got a sad off, right? We've got 2 different situations that make me incredibly sad. One is the first is
sad with a D, guys.
Yes, sad. First up is the Nets. It wouldn't be the offseason without a Ben Simmons threes video making the rounds. Yes, it's like the groundhog. And apparently some Nets like Dorian Finney-Smith and Dennis Schroeder think that this is the year for Simmons. They said, quote, from Finney-Smith, "We're going to shake the NBA. I don't look at it as a rebuild. I'm trying to win." Schroeder said, "I'm really looking forward to Simmons shutting everyone up." Meanwhile, the Bulls are taking a more straightforward approach with their sadness. Look at their faces right here. Can we enhance their sadness a little bit? Just a little bit more?
Zach LaVine and Nick Vucevic.
Yeah, look at that. That is, I know sadness when I see it.
Those are the faces of Lamar Odom and Brian Grant after they got traded from the Heat to the Lakers in 2004.
But I think the saddest part is Marcus Damask, who the Bulls social media said, hey, they want to be in a Bull. And then several hours later, he got cut.
Oof.
Coming up after the break, Charlotte Wilder and I unveil a new segment. It's called Certified Odd. By the way, Michael Jordan's depoy, completely fraudulent.
Welcome back to Oddball. I mean, I'm very excited about this segment we're doing today because we all know that a lot of weird stuff happens in the NBA, and that's like one of the most fun parts of the NBA to talk about. And so we thought it was time that we come up with like an actual system to determine how weird things are. And we're going to call it, because this show is Oddball, we're going to call it Certified Odd, which with a cool little stamp graphic there. What do you think about this? Are you on board?
I mean, do I have a choice?
No.
They named the show what
right.
they wanted to name it, and then now everything is kind of grown the fruit of the poisonous tree, so to speak. So I guess I'm on board with everything.
Sort of into it. Let's hear the criteria.
Let's see.
Okay,
Ooh.
so the first thing, apparently, so we need to check off 3 of the 5 for something to be certified odd. So the first one is this unprecedented?
Okay.
The second one is, could this have only happened to this team or player?
All right.
Third, is this unique to basketball?
Okay.
Fourth, would you be shocked if this happened again? And 5, are you still confused?
Absolutely. You can
So
put
again,
a yes for that one right now.
just
I am
three,
confused.
just three out of the 5 for something to be certified odd. So, Amin, why don't you tell us what the first thing we're testing out here is?
All right. Let's see. We got Giannis running into the Pacers tunnel to get the game ball. This is from last season. If you remember the Oscar Tshiebwe incident, as I like to call it. Giannis running into there. Last December, Giannis scored 64 in Indiana. It was a Bucks franchise record, so Giannis wanted to keep the game ball, but the Pacers grabbed it to commemorate Oscar Tshiebwe's first NBA points, even though he had scored in the in-season tournament, but those points don't count towards his actual NBA total, and it's the Pacers kind of routine or tradition that they give the game ball to the guy who scores his first points. So it's unclear whether Giannis ever got the ball back. Let's go to the checklist.
Okay.
Is this certified odd or not?
Is this unprecedented? Had that ever happened before, I mean?
Running down a tunnel to get the game ball back? Yes, I think that's unprecedented.
Okay, great. Let's check that off.
Yeah.
Could this have only happened to this team and or player? I'm going to say no, because there are a few other guys that I could see also running. Even though no one else has done it, I could see other people doing it.
I could see Chris Paul going onto the team bus and like riding back with them to the hotel and then going through every room before he gets the game ball back. So then no, it's not only this team.
I could also see Joe Mazzulla doing that. We need to add coach to this option here.
Yeah.
Okay, is this unique to basketball?
No, because remember, no, it's not, because if you think about it, Shohei Ohtani, he crossed the 50-50 threshold. The ball got hit into the stands in Miami, and then the guy didn't want to give it up. So, I mean, technically, Shohei could have gone in the stands and give me the ball, but he's a little too cool for that. So,
I mean, also with footballs, like, would you be shocked if this happened again? Oh man, this is a tiebreaker.
It was pretty shocking. I'll say
I would be shocked if I would be shocked. Yes,
I would be not shocked that it happened, but shocked that it happened. If that makes sense.
Yes.
If someone said, "Hey, it happened again," I'd be like, "Okay," but also be like, "Oh my God, so and so did this." So it's yes.
Right.
Let's say yes.
Especially even if Giannis did it again, I would be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would be.
Am I still confused? I mean, I'm always confused.
And I would say, given my answer to the last question, I wouldn't be shocked it happened, but I'd be shocked it happened. That's pretty confusing. I'm going to say yes. I'm still confused. Yeah.
This is certified odd.
Certified odd. There you go.
We're going to stamp it with,
there
cool.
It
I love
sounded
that.
like not a stamp, though. Stamps don't sound like that. That sounded a lot more tawdry than a stamp. I mean,
okay.
It sounded like someone really licked their fingers.
We're moving on. I'm talking over you. Draymond Green choking out Rudy Gobert. I don't think we need a checklist for this, but I'd love to run through it anyway.
Let's remind everybody. What happened between Draymond and Rudy Gobert last year? I don't remember this.
Here's what happened. On November 14th, 2023, the Warriors were playing the Timberwolves in the Bay. A fight started with Clay and Jaden McDaniels. And then, of course, Draymond and Rudy Gobert ended up at the center of it. And Draymond looked like he had been waiting his whole life to choke out that man. When he was asked if he had any regrets, Draymond said, "I don't live my life with regrets. I'll come to a teammate's defense anytime that I'm in a position to come to a teammate's defense." And then somehow it ended with Draymond sitting behind Rudy Gobert in the Olympic finals when France was playing the U.S. So I don't know that he's necessarily, quote, learned anything, even though he was, quote, working on himself,
couple of fact checks here. First of all, he didn't sit behind the bench. He said he was going to do that, but he ended up sitting courtside on the other side with Carmelo Anthony. And somehow Jimmy Fallon, who was enough. Jimmy Fallon, go away. You're not part of this. Yeah. You're just a fan. Be a fan, right? Number two, we have to point out that choking and that fight and all that happened within the first 60 seconds of the game. So
yes. Oh, sorry. Right.
That has to be part of it. All right, go ahead and let's breeze through this. This is not good.
Unprecedented. Yes. Could this have only happened to this team and or player? Yes.
I'm going to say no, but I'm going to say yes.
Both Draymond and Rudy, that combo. I mean,
unique to basketball. No. Because they fight in baseball all the time and hockey, and even football. So would you be shocked if this happened again? If someone choked out an opponent 60 seconds into a game, even though the opponent had nothing to do with the altercation at hand? Yes, I'd be shocked if it happened again.
This is a caveat, though, because I would be shocked if it happened again. I don't know if I would be shocked if Draymond did it again because I feel like he commits to the bit.
No, Charlotte, you need to worry about feeding your family and paying your rent. You don't need to worry about Draymond.
My bad, right? my bad. I would be shocked. Okay. I would be shocked.
Are you still confused?
I'm not confused. I'm not confused.
Not in the slightest.
Not at all.
Certified odd, though.
Certified odd. I love this game. This is fun.
It's fun to relitigate things. Yeah.
It's a walk down memory lane.
Yeah. You think about last year, Charlotte, what do you think about? You think about the food, right?
Think about the good food.
All right. Next up, we've got James Harden calling Daryl Morey a liar. This is one of my favorite things that happened last year, Charlotte.
Yeah, same.
So remember how James Harden was a Sixer, mostly because his GM in Houston, Daryl Morey, vouched for him and brought him to Philadelphia, and then it all fell apart? It happened when Harden went to China to do an Adidas event, and he had been trying to get traded, and the Sixers acted like they couldn't trade him. Well, we don't have any good deals. And so at this Adidas event, he called out Daryl Morey on stage. For some reason, the audience was a bunch of teenagers. That's because that's who comes out for NBA players selling sneakers. It's teenagers. And then later on, he got bottle service staff in Houston to have this little sign here, Daryl Morey is a liar, to repeat what he had said in China. So let's go through the checklist.
I mean, just real quick before the checklist, also James Harden then skipped Joel Embiid's wedding, which is my favorite thing that happened last year because he wanted to eat burgers with Bun B. Okay, the checklist. Is this unprecedented? Yes. Could this have only happened to this team or player?
I'm going to say...
Yes, because only Daryl Morey had publicly spoken out about China, gotten in trouble for it, and then James Harden went to China and said in China, Daryl Morey is a liar.
The reason I hesitate is because I could see Joel Embiid doing this too at some point.
Yeah,
at some point. Not this year, but at some point in his life, I could see him calling Daryl Morey a liar as well. All right,
not in China. For some reason, I don't think Embiid would do it in China.
He'd do it here, right? Is this unique to basketball? I'm going to say yes. Football players are too terrified to even speak up about their quarterback, let alone the general manager of the team. Would you be shocked if this happened again? I would be.
Yeah, same. But I'm not confused.
Not confused at all. I told you guys.
Not confused at all.
So that's a yes. I'm sorry. Yes for the last one. No for the last one. Are you still confused? No, not confused because real quick, this is what I promised everybody. Hey, he wants to get traded. They don't want to trade him. He is a master of, okay, I'll make a mess. Let's see if you still want me. Certified odd.
So true. Certified odd.
All right, what's last? What's next up?
Joe Mazzulla. We can save time on this one because
certified odd.
Just...
I don't even know what the scenario is. What's the scenario?
What is it though? I want to hear what he said. What did he say? Oh, just everything. It's just everything he said. I don't mind getting booed. It's good for you. There's no fouls in a war. You're either die or you don't. Yeah. I'm a big spite guy. I told a couple jokes in the third quarter. They were pretty inappropriate jokes.
Skip it. Just green sweep all of it. Yeah.
Clean sweep. Odd.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have time for one more here?
I think a really quick one. It's what is it? Oh, it's Emo Jimmy.
Yeah.
This is another. This is odd.
I don't think we need a checklist.
Give it to me a checklist real quick. We're gonna lightning round checklist. All right, here we go. Unprecedented, yes. Because it's only happened to this one player. Yes. Is this unique to basketball? Absolutely. What's that? I can't read.
Would you be shocked if it happened again?
Yes, I would. Are you still confused? Yes. Way to go, Jimmy.
All right. That's a heck of a segment, everybody. We're going to bring this one back because we here at Oddball are certified odd.